Welcome to another edition of the Wranglers Roundup. My name is James Poovey, alongside my color analyst for the inaugural season of Northern Arizona Wranglers football, Ed Cole. Mr. Cole, how are you doing this evening, sir?
James, good evening. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing great. We're excited. We're going to bring on a couple coaches here. First off, head coach Dominic Bramante is joining us as well. And we're also going to bring in Coach Landrick Brody, the offensive coordinator for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
Awesome, James. Awesome. Substantially above average, as my counterpart said.
I like that. One of the famous Bramante-isms, if you will, that I've heard in recent weeks.
I get a kick. He just called me his counterpart.
I wish I could call my boss my counterpart.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Coach Bramante, we had a great visit with you last week, talking a little bit about the startup of the franchise, and as we work towards the inaugural kickoff on May the 16th. That's going to be at 3:05 p.m. at the Finley Toyota Center against the Arizona Rattlers. You guys are going to get a test right out of the gate. And we're pleased to also be joined by the offensive coordinator for the Wranglers, Mr. Landrick Brody. Why don't you introduce Coach Brody and just tell us a little bit about you guys' background and how he became to be the OC for the Wranglers.
You know, I met Landrick 7 years ago, and I was named head coach of the New Mexico Stars. And Landrick came into the office one day and introduced himself as the fullback. And I went, no, it's not possible that you're a fullback. You might be the tailback because you look like you weigh about 215 pounds. And he would say, no, coach, I'm 255. And I would say, there is no way you're 255 pounds. Enjoy your week here of camp or 2 weeks of camp because your stay won't last any longer than that if you're the fullback. If you're the fullback. And so right. It started from there, and, all kidding aside, he was everything that I was looking for to establish our program in New Mexico. He was a Blue. He was a true leader. He was a leader in the locker room. He was a leader on the field. He was a leader off the field. He never turned it off. It was like he came from a spigot that was labeled leader. And he made the team and was obviously a leader for the team. And then for the next 3.5 years, he was on our team. And when he wasn't around, like, for example, injury, we talk about in this league, it's 100% injury rate. And when Landrick wasn't around because of injury, we really felt it. There was a void, in our team. And so, we really missed him, and he was the heart and soul, and I'm not exaggerating. He was the heart and soul of our teams. Wasn't the best athlete, he was 34, 35, 36 years old, but he was the heart and the soul. And when, unfortunately, how he got into coaching with me was we were going through a drill and indie period, and he suffered a major injury, and it was an injury that had to be operated on, and it prematurely ended his career. And I say that because Landrick might still be playing today, if he didn't get that injury. So I say prematurely. And so he was really dejected, and I went, no, we're going to move you right in. And so what I did was, because of my history with him, I threw him in boiling water, and I think his first game that he coached, he was the offensive coordinator from like the first game. He was probably limping around from the injury as he was, calling offense, and he's been with me ever since. If we didn't have him in 2018, 2019, we wouldn't be back-to-back champions. And that's how important he is. He's a Blue, and he'll explain to you what Blue is. He's a UNM alum, proud and, true Lobo. Loves his Lobos, loves his Lobo alums. Louisiana. No, were you in Louisiana? No, you were a Texas high school ball player.
Yeah, I went Port Louisiana.
Coach.
Okay. Okay, and so wonderful family. His children are going to be athletes like him. He's got a wonderful family, a supportive wife. You know, everything that you need to be successful in this line of work. And so Prescott Valley is very fortunate to have him. I call him Big Son because he's a son to me, an older brother to my son, and I know that the fans of the Northern Arizona Wranglers are going to love him. So his name, Landrick Brody.
Well, Coach, that is an outstanding introduction right there, Coach Brody. Coach Bramante, what does it mean to you as the head coach to have an assistant, especially in the offensive coordinator position, that can bring the energy to the team, like you talked about? You know, he translate from the way he played. Obviously, he's going to coach pretty much that same way. What does that mean to you?
It means family. He's family, and you know what we need to establish with our team is family. And when you say family, that means the world, because that's the most important thing. The reason why I wanted him on our staff is not because he's just gifted when it comes to his offensive understanding and what he wants to do, but I need him around me because of his effervescence and his optimism and his strong emotion and passion. He makes me better. You know, the whole thing about our staff is we need to be together. We need to spend a portion of the year together because for us, it's group therapy. And so when I'm around Landrick and the rest of the mighty men of the staff of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, it makes me better. And I need to be around those guys. It's like a tonic fix. And so that's the strength of who we are. We're family, and Landrick is family. It wouldn't be the same without him.
Yeah, Coach B, it would be so much different if you came to Prescott Valley with the Wranglers and got this position and you didn't have guys that you didn't know, like Landrick. But it makes it so much different when you can bring a man over that's rode with you and died with you, had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows with you in your career over in Duke City and other places. But to have a guy that you know knows you and you know him, that kind of relationship, that's hard to find.
We've worked at it. You know, I was talking with Matt Kayward today, and we were talking about our history as a staff. You know, we got to where we are through pain. You know, we didn't just show up and start winning. You know, it was pain, and through that pain, we all grew closer together. You know, it's a genuine love that we have for each other, and when true love happens, man, the possibilities are boundless.
Absolutely right, Coach. Coach Brody, I didn't know that we were already brothers. You just told me that you played Texas high school football. I also did the same. That's a brotherhood right there that a lot of people will never understand. So it's great to meet you. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Obviously, we talked about your days as a Lobo at the University of New Mexico playing fullback. And talk to us a little bit about Texas high school football playing and your love for the game.
Before he starts, James, he deserves the stage by himself. And so I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to let you have Landrick all to yourself. And maybe if I'm not around, he'll be more truthful.
Okay. All right. We got it, Coach. Well, hey, we appreciate you joining us, and we will see you, Coach, Saturday morning up at the tryouts there at Bradshaw Mountain High School in Prescott.
Look forward to it, man. Have a good night.
Thank you, Coach B.
You too, sir. Thank you, pal. All right. That was head coach Dominic Bramante right there. And now it's just the fellas right here. Coach Brody, back to my question. Just tell us a little bit about your background and how you became affiliate. Obviously, we learned a little bit about your affiliation with Coach Bramante and what it's like to be part of a startup program. I mean, that's a very unique opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt it is. No doubt it is, James. So I'm originally from a small town right outside of Baton Rouge, New Rose, Louisiana. That's where I was born and raised. I ended up moving to high school with my dad. I went to high school and played high school football in Lancaster, Texas, right outside of Dallas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, went to school freshman through my senior year there, played football all 4 years. ended up getting an opportunity to play football at the University of New Mexico, which is how I originally got to New Mexico. Played 4 years there on the Rocky Long, one of the first classes in school history to go to 3 bowl games in a row. Had a pretty good career there. Had an awesome experience as far as teammates went. Like every other young player looking to kind of extend his career after the college level, I got an opportunity to start playing some indoor ball. And I actually started, crazy as it sounds, like in 2006, was my first year of indoor football. Coach Bramante might have been in Tennessee Valley way back then, an assistant back then. And we had crossed paths kind of without even knowing. So I was kind of deep into my career when Coach Bramante got his first opportunity to come out to Rio Rancho and coach the New Mexico Stars in the Santa Ana Star Center out there. Coach B won't tell you, man. This me and Coach B goes back. We go way back. I tell some people Coach B was probably the first coach in my pro career as far as indoor goes to tell me no. And it's surprising. He wouldn't initially, man. He wouldn't sign me, like he told you. He thought I was too small to play fullback, and it kind of caught me off guard, because I had been pretty successful my previous years. The year before, I was first team all conference, and the guy comes in and tells me no, tells me he's not gonna sign me. So that it sparked a new interest in me, It made me want to prove it to him, And when I got the opportunity to prove it to him, we never turned back from there. I always held the respect for him because he knew what he wanted, man, and that's what kind of molded me as a coordinator as far as knowing what I want out of my offense. Later on, and I tell people this all the time, man, I played so long because after a while it was more mind than matter, like my last 3 years, it was more mental than physical. I knew the angles of the game. I knew where to be. I know where other people weren't going to be. So it kind of helped me prolong my career somewhat. But it also, I think it gave me more of a mental edge from an offensive standpoint. Because at that age, man, you're 34, 35 years old. You got to know what the people around you are doing. So it kind of gave me more of an insight as far as a receiver or a quarterback or what you want from your offensive lineman in the indoor game. And it kind of extended my love for the game. Due to injury, it kind of opened up the door for me to begin coaching a little bit. Man, honestly, it's crazy. Probably 3 weeks after I suffered a torn quad at the tip. So where your knee attaches to your quad, it completely tore. So that was a pretty significant injury. So probably about 3 weeks to a month after that injury, I started to go up in the box and help with offense a little bit. And Coach Bramante, he kind of saw that I learned a little bit along the way. So he threw me in the fire early, man. The first game I called was against Amarillo, and it was a pretty rough outing for me. But like Coach B, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys have talked to him, and you guys have talked to him along the way. He's a different cat, man. Like he's cut from a different cloth. He's probably one of the people I can say in my life that he can bring out the best and the worst. And I do not say that lightly at all. I've been around him, like I said, since 2000, like he said, since for about a little bit over 7 years now. So as I kind of progressed as an offensive coordinator, I had like every other coach, man. I had my faults and I had my strengths. But he saw that I saw it, and as a coordinator, for me, you have to see the game, especially like more from the outside looking in, and I'll tell you something that kind of stood out to me. In 2018, my first full season as a coordinator, which was the first year we won the championship, Coach Bramante he asked that I call the offense from the box. And as you guys have been around arena football, the offensive coordinator is on the field.
Right.
And it would frustrate me a lot because I'm like, man, I want to be by my quarterback. It's nuances and small details that I want to discuss with him while I'm on the field. It's a relationship you build with that quarterback, and during games, I want to be on the field with him. But Coach B, man, we went through probably the first 6 weeks with me being in the box and I saw it, you know, and that kind of brought, like, it made me understand why he wanted me up there. It's like it brings a microscope to everything. You can see the DBs, you can see people rolling the coverages, you can see the tendencies of defenders. You know, you can tell every time this linebacker does this, he blitzes. Every time he does this, he drops in coverage. So Coach B kind of, without me even knowing it, he was molding me as a coach as well, you know? So it got to the point where he can tell that I was confident in my abilities as a coordinator, and it never, man. Every year we grew, every year I grew. He talks a little bit about we live by this, man. Red, green, and blue. It's what we live by. And it's the way we recruit players, it's the way we keep players, it's the way we manage our lives as people, to be honest. Blues are the people you want to be. You want to be a blue. A green is something, you know, something close to a blue, but also can be influenced by red. And we go in the game plan. We game plan every week, and we go in the week assuming that whoever has the most blues win, you know. And no doubt, reds are talented, man. You get reds that are your talent. But on 4th and 1, you're dependent on a blue instead of a red. And our mindset is always the team that has the most blues are the teams that are going to pull off a game. So now me and Coach B go way back. He talks about our relationship as a staff. We're a very tight-knit, close group, man. We've been through a lot of things together. I wouldn't do it with anybody else. I'll be dead honest with you. I wouldn't do it with anybody else. It's just a culture that we've built, you know. And that's what it started with Coach B, as far as even as a player, pointing me in the right direction. The culture he creates, it's unmatched, man. It's things that we tell players. It's 3 words that you always hear from us, and this is what we live by. And it's I love you. It's we love you enough to hold you accountable. We love you enough to coach you, and we love you enough as a person, you know. So those 3 words that we live by, and we're close knit, man. You can tell. If you guys are around us, man, you can tell. Like it's we're comfortable enough with each other to hold each other accountable, and that's different from a lot of settings I've seen in the football. Even on the highest levels of football, man, you don't see people that are willing to take that accountability from other people, and we're all in, man. If you're around us, you'll see.
Coach Brody, so having that kind of relationship and that kind of love and that kind of trust amongst all of you, amongst all the men and women that are working for this organization, that's going to serve you really well, especially in this expansion season when everything's new and fresh and everybody's trying to figure the organization out and how to get everybody where they need to be and try to get everything together for May 16th when the Rattlers come in, and then that entire season starts. But that is the great start, having that relationship and you guys knowing each other like the backs of your hands.
No doubt. And the crazy thing about it is, man, Coach B just has a knack for like, it's those people they draw to him, those type of people. Like we've brought in a couple of, like Jason Pena, he's always been with us, you know. Coach JP has been with us for a long time. Matt's been with us forever. We've all been together for a long time. But then you have our new additions, Marcus and Coach Adams, you know, Coach Hudak, who I'm super excited about. He's our receivers coach, and me and him will work hand in hand a lot. Coach Amber Burks, one of the few females in our job, but man, she's qualified. Like people, and Coach B, it's crazy how he attracts and draws those people to him. I've met these people maybe 2 or 3 times. We had a first tryout. I had a chance to meet with Marcus, but me and Coach Hudak and Coach Amber, like we're Coach Dirks, we're always in kind of trying to get on the same pages with each other. But for some reason, man, you can already tell like we're the same kind of people. Like, and Coach B, he's good at bringing those people amongst us. You know, like and Coach B will tell you from straight. Coach B won't bring a coach in if you don't think they're qualified. But the biggest thing to Coach B is that they're a blue, man. Like they're Coach B will tell you all the time, 15 minutes late, early is what you're late. You know what I'm saying? If we start something at 7 and you're there at 7:05, you're 10 minutes late. You know, we call Patton go in the morning. We practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. Practice starts at 4:50. And all these people are those type of people, man. And I don't know. I may speak on some of them, but I'm real excited to work with them, and I think they already bring that relationship that we already had. They're just adding to it, and at that point, the more people you can get on that accord, I think the better chance we have of having success. We've all been around indoor football for a while, man. We know Arizona Rattlers no walk in the park to anybody in this league. So to be able to come in and compete, that's what we're looking to do, man. And that's what Coach B, that's the kind of staff Coach B's put together. And I know you guys, you've seen our roster, man. We've put together a very favorable roster. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, our goal is to compete, man. To compete. That's our goal at the end of the day.
Well, Coach, we've been nothing but impressed, obviously, with you as well, getting to meet you here tonight. But when we got to talk with Coach Bramante last week, you can obviously tell he's definitely one of those coaches. I've been thinking ever since we got to talk with him last week, he's one of those run through a wall guys, like like his pal, John Harbaugh, same sort of coach, just a guy that you would literally buy into and run through a wall for. And he's going to attract those types of people, those types of players, and then a type of staff like he's recruited with you guys. And knowing that you guys can be accountable to each other and it's all done in love is the tipping point right there, because hey, I can go to you and say, hey, Coach Brody, you know what? We got to do this better, man. This has got to be XYZ instead of ABC and whatever. And you're not going to get all defensive about it. You're going to know it's done in love. And I can only imagine that's how you guys interact with each other.
No doubt. I tell you something, James, something we laugh about all the time. And people that have been around the sports world, championship runs are a journey, man. It's like, honestly, after you go through a complete championship run, you're never the same person again. The work you have to put in, the sacrifices you make is unmatched. Like, I had never won rings in indoor football before those 2 years. And it's nothing in the world that's like a run like that, man. And the funny thing, Coach B, we'll talk about it sometimes. I remember in 2018, we were on a pretty good roll. We were playing the Texas Revolution, the team that was out in Frisco. I think the final score we won, I think it was 64-26. And I swear, man, the staff, we were in the locker room after, like, we lost. Like, it felt, because we left so much on the field. And you could tell it wasn't just me, it wasn't just him, it was all of us, like in our heads, like, and that was honestly, that was the team we ended up beating in the conference championship to get to the championship game. That Revolution team was no pushover, but to us, like people, like, the reason what intrigues me about football is like you're trying to be perfect in an imperfect game. People, I played with a guy, and I remember Coach B saying, the guy telling us, he was like, Coach B would ask us, he'd ask us to speak out and kind of get to know each other. And a guy we played, James Cleveland, he said, Coach B asked him, why is he still playing football? He said, because I'm still chasing perfection. I've never played a perfect game, which is impossible. You're never, but as a coach, as a player, that's the fire that burns. Like, every game I call, I'm looking for a perfect game. Like, it's been 2 games I've called as a coordinator where we've scored every single drive, but it still wasn't a perfect game. It still was bad calls I made. It still was bad reads quarterbacks made. Like, so as a player and a coordinator, we're always chasing that perfect game, man. So that's what makes us, like, that's what brings the drive we bring. Like, even we'll have outings, man, that are exceptional outings, a 70, 80-point outing. But in our heads, we're like, man, we left three scores on the field, And as we're accountable with each other that way, like, man, it's times where you see people say we would play games and you see people celebrating the fact that it's a close game at half. Like, that's never been the case with us. Like, with us is always striving to get better, and that's what makes us. I think that's championship pedigree, man. Like, you have to be willing to understand and take. Like, even though you won a game, that doesn't make the outing perfect. You got to see, it's indoor football, man. We play Arizona Rattlers week 1. No matter what we do, good or bad, we see them in a few more weeks,
That's right. Coach, you mentioned the Texas football. You grew up on that and then went to the University of New Mexico. You played in multiple leagues. How has all those experiences and all those travels for you and your football career prepared you for where you are right now as the offensive coordinator for the Northern Arizona Wranglers?
It molded me, man. Like me and Coach B laugh about it all the time. It's something I've taken. And if you watch my offense, it's something that I've taken from every coach or player that I've been around. I played for Rocky Long at UNM. We're a heavy. Dontrell Moore is my tailback. He's one of two, I think 2 or 3 only tailbacks in the college football series to run for 1,000 yards for 4 years. We were a heavy zone read team. We ran zone until you were blue in the face. This is what we did. I've had the opportunity to incorporate that in the indoor game. I've been around some great coaches and players along the way that have helped me mold myself as a pass game coordinator. I had the opportunity to play with Brian Randall from Virginia Tech, the guy that was at Virginia Tech after Mike Vick left. Exceptional offensive mind. Like those type of guys, being around those guys, playing with those guys. You pick things up along the way, man. Small nuances of the game. And you have people around there, people like that, you pay attention to the way they lead. I had Chris Williams. I played for Chris Williams, a coach. He's pretty well known in the IFL, an offensive guy. He taught me a lot of things, man. Simplicity. Like I remember playing for him the year before Coach B came. I remember Chris Williams running pitches all the way down the field out of a different formation with a different man in motion. And we would laugh every time we came back to the huddle. And that's what people don't understand. Multiplicity in your formations. Coach B says it all the time. Formations dictate offense. So as time moves along, those are the type of things I picked up along the way. The things Coach B taught from a defensive standpoint, man. I remember we were playing Rio Grande Valley Soul. I'll never forget this. We had the first year Coach B had us in 2014. We had no business in the championship game. But I remember to beat Rio Grande Valley, Coach Bramante put in the coverage, and the defense were even like, Coach, there's no way we can do this. There's no way we can do this. But Coach B always saw that the opposing quarterback that we played never looked backside. So Coach B, honestly, he took the defender from the backside completely out of the picture. Took all front side reads away. We ended up winning that game by 10 points. Nobody in the world expected us to win. It actually put us into the championship game of the LSFL that year. And those are the type of things that along the way that you pick up, and it kind of molds you as the coach that you are, I would say.
Go ahead, James.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Coach Brody. What would you say to someone who maybe has not been familiar with the arena game and they're familiar with the 11-man game in pro football, normal NFL football, to get them to check out an arena football game, maybe if they've never had a chance to see one?
I'll tell you, indoor football, man, is like it's crazy to say it. I've almost veered to the point where indoor football is kind of like my brand at this point. It's high paced, man. It's fun. It's a very interactive game. The fans are right there. And if you're an outdoor football guy, what excites me about the rules of leagues like the IFL, the opportunity to incorporate a genuine run game, to the point where the old school arena game. If you remember, when I first started playing in 2006, it was more of a confined in the box type of game. Now at this point, the jack linebacker is not a jack linebacker; it's a safety. You get a true cover 2, you get a true cover 3, so you have an opportunity to really line up and run the football. It makes for so much excitement in the game. If you're a football fan in general, man, indoor football is probably the best family event as a football or as a sports family at all. You can probably attend. The crazy thing about it is, I told Coach B, I'm really excited about the whole Prescott brand. In 2008, when the adrenaline was there, I played in the AIFA for the New Mexico Wildcats. So we used to travel on the pitch, man, and it was it was a popping, it was a live arena, you know. So, and I walk in that arena now, and I still remember it. You know, it still looks, you know, similar or the same. So I can remember the excitement. I can remember the fans. I can remember. So, like, it just, I know that same type of excitement we had everywhere else we've been. It'll be the same in Prescott, and we're looking forward to it, man. It's a genuine community. I was down there for the first tryout. Everybody's welcome in there. And honestly, man, we're looking to put our brand and establish our culture within that community. I think it'll be a fun time for everybody who's willing to step out and attend some of our ball games.
Coach, I'm sure you mentioned your excitement getting there and knowing that you're representing an entire community that it's all about community. It's all about family. It's all about love. And now you're one of the faces of the franchise, and you are representing the Northern Arizona Wranglers, not just the Wranglers, but the entire Prescott Valley city, the entire community as the offensive coordinator. That's a great honor for you and a great task that you have ahead of you.
No pressure, Coach.
Yeah, and it's
no
something
pressure, Coach.
I don't take it lightly, man. It's something you guys can tell by Coach Bramante. Coach, it's something that we don't take lightly, man. Honestly, we are our community. Like, to be honest, what people label us as, what people think that we're able to create, like, it's based off of what goes on in our community, and we know that we're as you can tell, we're trying to hit the ground running as far as reaching out to the community. And it's a community that's willing and wanting people to reach out to them. That's what makes things more easier for us, man. Everybody I've come across in Prescott, they're genuine people, even all the way up to our ownership, man. Trey Medlock and those guys, I've known of those guys since I started playing arena football. So I know they're going to bring genuine love and something you can trust and be proud of and build on to that community. So that's part of the reason why people like me and Coach Bramante are willing to take that step and come out here and represent this community, man. Because we know this community is this organization. I believe we're doing all the right things to put the best foot forward to show this community that we're here for them, man. This is their team. We look to establish something that they can be proud of, to be honest.
Well, honestly, Coach Brody, I've been nothing but impressed with the entire organization ever since I first reached out to him towards the end of last year, all the way down from Mr. Medlock, and all you guys as well. Speaking of the community, we're going to be out in the community on Saturday morning for another tryout for the team. We're going to be there. It starts at 10 a.m. Check-in is at 9:30 at Bradshaw Mountain High School. You're not going to be able to attend, but what can you tell us about the tryout? You were at the first one, I believe, and what can folks expect that might make their way out there? Maybe that are just hearing this right now and saying, "Hey, there's a chance to try out for arena football. I got to get where's my cleats at? I got to get my cleats ready for Saturday morning."
Yeah, the thing about Prescott, man, is was surprised. I'm gonna be honest. It was a pretty big eye opener. The first tryout. It's loaded with talent, man, especially with the outskirt areas. Like, you got people coming in from Phoenix. It's the Tucson area, Flagstaff, even some people coming down from Nevada, the Vegas area. Like, that section that we're in, man, is filled with talent. The thing is, when you go to the tryout, like Coach Breed mentioned to you guys earlier, superstar from Rent-A-Car, man. When we go to the tryouts like that, we're looking for people that stand out. People that we believe can have opportunity to play at the professional level. You guys know, man, this is IFL. I've played in plenty of leagues, man. It's one of the most competitive indoor football leagues that have been around. So we're always looking for that diamond in the rough, man. That one that stands out that nobody expects. And every time we have a tryout, it's one or two that we look at each other like, oh man. Like we might have one here. So that's honestly what we're looking out, man. We're looking. Last time we had it, it was great community support. Everybody was there. It was people there just watching. Just an audience watching people compete for that opportunity to make our roster or to crack a shot at our training camp roster. So we're looking forward to that, man. We're looking forward to that same type of atmosphere.
Coach, describe your coaching style as an offensive coordinator? What can the fans look forward to seeing from an offensive standpoint for the Northern Arizona Wranglers as you are their leader on offense?
Coach B he kind of tames me sometimes, but man, the thing about me being so close replaced as a player, I'm an emotional guy, man. Emotion is part. Emotion is, I always tell even players, emotion is a part of the game. It is a part of the game that's
Oh my
important.
goodness, yes.
Yes, it is.
I bring, man. You can tell. You'll see. I bring emotion to my players, man. Like that is part of the game. Like you get teams that lose games that they're not supposed to lose because they're flat. We hit the ground running. You can tell that's one thing about my offense. We our goal is to win every play. Our goal is to score every single drive. That's our goal. Like every drive, I tell Coach, me and Coach B talk about it all the time. To us, every drive is a game. You score, you win. You lose. You don't score, you lose. And that's the attitude, the mindset that we take. Like I said, man, we're on the other hand, we're a respectful group, man. We're not the type of guys to come in the league like this trying to disrespect people. But we know what we want and we know what we're looking to achieve. And we're gonna hit the ground running, man. We're gonna come at everybody with our best shot. And like Coach B says all the time, we're gonna compete. Like that's our number one goal. We're coming to compete.
Coach, we are extremely excited about Saturday as well. I'm going to be up there. We're going to actually live stream the tryouts on Saturday morning. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but we're going to do that. So I'll make sure and get that information over to you so you can have a live look at what's going on up there Saturday morning at Bradshaw Mountain High School. Tell us a little bit about maybe just give us a little bit of insight about your offense that you have so far. You got a really good looking quarterback room so far. And then what do you have at maybe a couple of other positions?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. We have a very we have a very talented group, and I don't want to mention a lot of names and leave people out. But everybody knows our quarterback, man. We're bringing in Verlon Reed. We honestly believe he can be one of the best in the league. He fits in to exactly what we want to do. We want to be a multi-dimensional offense. Like I said earlier, man, formation dictates offense. We want to be able to line up at anything, anytime, and run anything we want to run. You will see, like I'm a motion guy, man. I love different kinds of motions. You'll see tons of them from me. I love different formations. I'm a film junkie. Coach B will tell you that, man. I watch film until I'm blue in the face. Like it's my edge. It's what I feel that makes us better. It makes me comfortable as a coordinator. Having an idea what opposing teams are going to do to us. And the thing is, man, we have the weapons in place to kind of do the things that we want to try and do. Some of the we got some awesome backs coming in, man. A kid, Burks, a running back from BYU. Riley Burke. He's gonna be a good back, and I'm a running back guy, man. So I always show a little bit of favor to them. Bryson Aline, kind of a dual threat guy. We got Marquise Rogers coming in from a receiver that played for San Diego Strike Force. He's lightning in the bottle, man. So we're looking forward to people like that. We got bigger guys, but buying them. Man, the list goes on. I don't want to start naming names and leave people out. But the thing is, we've put together a group to make, and the good thing about this group is they understand the importance of a competitive training camp. That's what molds it, man. That's what sharpens iron. A competitive training camp. And the good thing about it is the journey, we've seen it before. That's the good thing I think about that helps us as a coaching staff. We've seen the grind. We understand what it takes in training camp. And us having a group that understands the importance of competing in camp, man. That's what, like, I tell people all the time, and Coach B will tell you, games should be fun. Like the hard work is done at practice. If you guys bring that camera in a couple of our practice sessions, you'll see we get after each other as coaches. We get after each other as players. Like we want to when we hit the turf on a game night, we want the variables to be out. The variables to be out of the door. At that point, it's game time, man. So we try to make that mesh and make that happen within something that we can control. The practice in the camp areas, man. We can control that. We're looking forward to it.
Coach, I love the passion. I love the emotion. Ed, we broadcast with emotion too, Coach, so you don't have to worry about that as well. And I'm telling you, I'm already fired up. Coach B got us fired up last time, and you're getting me ready to go in on and play some offense. I was a defensive guy playing football, but I'm ready to go in and do a little offense now, Ed. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Go ahead, my friend.
Coach Brody can make a couple slots for us. I'm sure he could.
Sure,
yeah,
come on.
Man, I got y'all. I can put you in high motion, James.
All right, let's go, baby.
Coach, I was just going to mention how incredible it is to have all of these men that from different walks of life, different experiences, different levels of playing in college or professional football, how you and your staff can bring all of these men together for one common goal, to win a championship, to come together and make this organization viable, a winning organization, and hopefully a championship organization in quick fashion. But it really is incredible how a football team can come together with the sum of the parts. People who come that have never may or may not have ever known or met each other before. But when the rubber meets the road, everybody comes together for a common goal.
Yep, it's a dream, Ed. It's a dream, man. Me and Coach B talk about it all the time. We don't recruit players that don't have a dream to go to the next level. We don't want to see them back here next year. To be honest, our goal, if you stop dreaming, we don't want to recruit you, and we mean that in the bottom of our hearts. Like I remember even as a player, Coach B would laugh. Like, man, I was 35 years old. I would always say, like, man, you never know. They might need somebody on punt coverage, or they might, NFL team might need a gunner on punt team. Like the dream, man. Like it not only does it generate something from a football standpoint, it also helps you in normal facets of life, man. If it just like we just try to keep a culture and a mindset to continue to dream. So that's why the players that we're bringing in, man, they're dreamers. Like you'll see those guys to make our roster, that intensity has to be there. So when you see us kick off on May the 16th, it's gonna be a bunch of guys that have a dream, man. They got a dream. And I always tell guys all the time, like offense is a very unselfish side of the ball. You have sometimes, man, you get double coverage. You got to do what you got to do to get your to help a brother out. That's what we call it. Help a brother out. Get your teammate open, man. And I tell those guys all the time, it's cool, man, to have these single spotlight athletes. But the bigger picture is people are gonna come to see you if you're winning, man. Like you can be the best player on a team that's 1-15. Nobody's gonna come to watch that team. So even if you have a one touchdown night, you're on a winning team, people are looking to bring people to the next level, see the intangibles, see what you do on special teams, see your mannerisms, see what you do to make other people on the team better. So that's what we incorporate that into the dream that those guys bring. So we're looking to help those guys display that talent, man. I tell those guys all the time, all the guys we bring in, they're talented, man. Our job as coaches is to put them in the best position to display that talent. And you got to dream.
And you got to have the guys, Coach. You got to have a few dogs in the group that can really know how to get after it. You got to have the dreamers, as you mentioned. You got to have everybody on the same page, going for the same goal. I love the passion. I love the intensity, and I can't wait to get you guys to get after it on the field. And it's coming up really shortly. Football is a brotherhood. I really feel bad for people that have never played it before, because it's a brotherhood in so many different ways, and it's a family in so many different ways. You guys are fighting together, and we talked about it earlier here in the show tonight about getting in the trenches together, and that forms a bond with people that you've gone to war with that can never be broken, and it's a bond that can also really never be explained. Would you agree with that?
No doubt, man. No doubt. It's guys that I still talk to that I played with in 2006, 2007. 2000 college teammates, guys from high school, man. There's guys that I played peewee ball with. We still have that relationship. It's even from the walks of life, man. I even tell when I was coaching at the high school level, I would tell people all the time, man, even from the youth level going to high school level, it's people that once you get to the high school level, they won't play football, man. But those concepts and those life lessons they learn, it helps them kind of progress in life. I tell people all the time, those younger dudes. My Coach B talks about my son. I've got he's a freshman. He plays quarterback out here. A good sized kid. He's a good athlete. And I tell him all the time, man. When I was in high school, my best friend was he's accounting for BMW right now. He's as farthest from an athlete as you can get. We played football together in 7th and 8th grade. We held me accountable in life. I'd be around my football friends and they'd be trying to get into something that we both know we shouldn't be getting into. Him standing on the outside looking in, telling me, that's not you. And that's the kind of brotherhood and bond that you want to build within your team. And that's what we try to build, man. When you leave it, when these guys leave here, we want them to be able to call each other and still hold each other accountable in life. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of what we try to create. Man.
Yes.
And it's so funny you mentioned that, Coach, because we were on the way to church last week and I was telling my kids the same exact thing. I said, it's funny. You'll keep in touch with people after you get out of high school that you never thought you would keep in touch with. And then maybe you didn't even really know it all during high school. And then all of a sudden now you're like really close with that person later on in life. And you said, well, I didn't even know this guy back in the day, and vice versa. Yep. And then but I said, you got to pick the right friends. You got to have people that'll hold you accountable in love and say, hey, you know what? That's not you, man. Get out of that. I'm going to grab you by the shirt collar and take you out of that situation because I love you enough to do so.
Exactly. And that goes back to our red, green, and blue, man. Sometimes blues are greens. You got to depend on the blues to pull you back up,
Exactly. Coach, we were talking before we started back. We were doing a little pre-show prep. Tell us more about Landrick Brody from a personal standpoint, just off the football field, some of the great things you're doing back there in New Mexico, some things you're doing some of the wonderful things you're doing.
Yeah, football is my life, Ed. Like football is life for me. We're probably one of the biggest youth football leagues in our region. I'm the director of football operations for the New Mexico Young America Football League. So what I do from that standpoint is, man, I just try to keep kids active, playing ball, try to help mentor coaches. Because at the end of the day, man, I know some of y'all know some of the most profound memories I have are from coaches I had when I was a kid, So I'm just, just trying to mentor people to understand that these words stick to kids more than ever, and like we talk about always, not only in football, but in life. I look at football as a tool, man. It's been a tool for me my entire life. It's kept me on the straight and narrow as much as it possibly can because none of us are perfect. But just like the game, it's an imperfect game. We're all imperfect people trying to be perfect at a game that's impossible to be perfect at. And that's the same thing we try to convey. I try to convey as far as my league goes. I'm just basically I help facilitate that league, man. Make sure kids have the equipment. Make sure coaches are assigned to teams. Actually, we've got a 80 team spring league going on right now as we speak. So I'm always football head first, man. So.
Coach, we can tell that you're a football through and through, eat it, sleep it, everything, Coach, and we love every bit of it. We're so pleased to meet you and to get to visit with you tonight. We look forward to meeting you in person and then seeing what you're going to do for this football team. We're extremely excited to be involved.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man. We're looking forward to it, man. We'll see you guys when we get rolling.
It's a journey, and we're going to buckle up and take it with you, my friend. Thank you for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. Pleasure meeting you again, and we'll talk to you again very soon, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, Coach.
You too, my friend.